What up? What up? Thank you guys for joining in today. I am BK back with another banger. Today I want to touch on, I'm going to touch on, pause, the top 5 or the top feature suggestions for the MPC software with the MPC 1 recently released to the public. I'm still awaiting mines. I hit the button on it too late and now I just gotta wait. So besides me waiting for the MPC 1, I still have the MPC software and I have my MPC Live, so I'm really not missing anything. And from what I've been seeing from people who own the MPC X or the MPC Live that now own the MPC 1, it's a lot of the same stuff outside of the hardware buttons that's on it. And a lot of the feature suggestions that people have made in the past still haven't come to fruition, and we're still waiting on some of those. So today I'm going to, try to show what it is that we're missing. Number 1 on my list is full MIDI control. What I mean by full MIDI control is I have this beat going, right? And say I want to use, I'll go to a blank track. Say I want to use a plugin, and the plugin that I want to use is Scalar. Within Scalar, right, I can control this with another VST. Now I'm going to show you that in Studio One and bring us back into the MPC. All right, so now I flip to Studio One real quick. I'm not going to be in here long, but I just want to show the fact of the MIDI situation, right? So I have Scalar open and Scalar is controlling Labs, right? So this is Labs, this is Scalar. If I take the monitor button off of Scalar, you hear nothing, right? Take the monitor off Labs, you hear nothing. I monitor Labs and Scalar. And if I record it, you gotta put record on. All right. And as you can see, it recorded and captured the actual MIDIs the way that it's being played from Scalar, right? So again, these notes or chords are coming directly from Scalar. All right, so now go back into the MPC, open up Scalar, put any random so I can bind the MIDI here, but if I wanted to control per se a Labs, if you will, I opened up another plugin. And why did I open up another Scalar? Per se it's Labs, and I want to control this MIDI. There's no way for me to route per se the outputs of the source to be controlled by Scalar. There's no way to do it, right? The MIDI channel is the same MIDI channel. It doesn't work. Now, if I was to open up a MIDI and say I wanted it to be channel 1, it does nothing. It controls nothing. So that's that for the MIDI section of this. The MPC software just needs a better MIDI in and out connectivity. Next up on my list of things, suggestions, is automation. So we got the automation read write function here. We're able to read and write globally on any track. Where it would shine better for the software and in standalone mode as well is if we take a look at the mixer channel and just take a look at the master output, right? If you see that there's no read and write, there's no automation for the master output. And you may say why you want to, automate on your master chain. Well, you might put something on your master chain that you want to read and write on, correct? But forget the master. Let's go to the return sends. Now, the return sends are used for effects. I don't know any other use for the return sends outside of the effects. Maybe, you can also pump up the volume a little bit. But the insert effects, if you put an insert effect here, say I put halftime and I sent track 1, I'll just show you. But I can tell you, right? So I put halftime here, right? Solo this. Now, I'm dramatizing it because I want you to actually hear it. Now, per se, that was something that I did like and I wanted to use it. There's no automation for it. Like I can't automate this. Right? Now, if I was to go into the actual MPC and per se, I wanted to move this, or no. So say I wanted to automate this function right here. I can, do this from the MPC itself or any controller that I had to control this. But the thing is, there's no automation, right? If I put this effect here, right? So you hear it way more clearer on this. So say I wanted to automate what I was just doing. I would hit the read and write, bring it back up so you can see it. So see, you're able to see that. Let me undo that. Undo that. All right. So there's no way to do that on the return sends. There's also no way to do it on the submix. Say I wanted to do it that same effect right here on the submix. I can't automate it. So the automation functions just needs to be upgraded some way, somehow. I don't see why you can't add automation on anything on the mixer channel. Should be able to automate. If you have the audio track, you're able to automate. You can't automate the MIDI tracks, right? You can only automate programs such as key group programs, plugins, and drum programs. But when it comes to the submix, the return sends, and the masters, there's no automation. So let's move on to the next. So the next feature suggestion is a tuner, an automatic key detect, automatic tuner. Not even key detection. That's another situation. That's also a feature suggestion. But what I'm talking about is a tuner. There is no tuner. Right here, you see I have song key on this. If you've been following along, you've been noticing me using Empire Tuner to use with my key groups. There is no tuner, right, that comes with this. If I go back into Studio One and I go into the browser and I go to Effects and I go to Presonus, you go Empire, which has a tuner. And no, y'all not making me out to be a liar. Here we go, right here. Tuner. The tuner, right? This is the tuner. See how it tells you the octave of what you're pressing? Tells you the octave of what you're pressing here, right? So go back into the MPC. We don't have anything such as a tuner, right? So that's why I use song key, I use mixing key, and I use Empire's tuner. Some people may say, well, go to sample edit. There's a tuner. This is a tune. It's not a tuner. It's this right here function. It's gonna pitch the shift of whatever this sample is. It's gonna pitch the shift of it up a semitone, down a semitone, and I don't know what the actual semitone is, right? So I'm pitching it up and down. I'm just pitching it, right? There's no correction. I can't correct anything by that. If you go into program edit, you can also turn it up or turn it down or fine tune, but you're still not knowing what you're fine tuning. So a tuner would be an awesome thing, right? The next thing, since we're on tuning, will be automatic key detection. Why do we want automatic key detection, you may ask? When I drag in this sample, it should tell me automatically what the key is. If I open up Serato sample and I drag in a sample in it, it automatically tells the sample. If I open up Serato Studio, same thing, same deal. It automatically detects, right? So I think that'll be a great tool to add as well, because AKAI is promoting and nudging for Splice integration. Yes, when you bring in a sample from Splice, it has the key on it, so you're working with that. But still, not everybody has Splice. Not everybody's paying a monthly subscription fee for Splice. So for the average day-to-day sampler, the average day-to-day producer who uses the MPC software does not have a tuner or automatic key detection. All right, so let's go on to the next. The next feature suggestion, simple one, is dragging and dropping of Midis. You guys seen me do the Midi chord pack from Unison on a couple different videos of mine, and one situation that we're having is dragging and dropping of the chords. So if I drag this chord in here, it's going to tell me automatically to go to sequence 2. If I choose to go to sequence 1, it's going to erase everything that's on sequence 1. And if I didn't save, Command S, Control S, depending on your platform, if I didn't save, that's the end of that, right? I mean, you can undo. I'm not sure if you can undo a whole sequence removal. I'm not gonna try it. You try it and let me know how that go. But you have to go to sequence 2 or the next unused sequence for the drag and drop function to work. You then have to go to that sequence. I'm on track 17, so nothing populated. I gotta go back to track 1. I gotta Command A, Command C, go back to sequence 1, go back to the sequence of 17. I mean, program 17. Command V. All right, so you get the picture. You got to go to, you're doing too much steps in order to perform one thing. And back to Studio One, if I do that same scenario, right? Go to Files. I go to Files and I go to any one of these, doesn't matter, and I drag it in. It's just a drag and drop thing. And if it was, sometimes you get a MIDI that's it's multiple tracks. If it was one of those that was multiple tracks, multiple layers, it'll open and populate the multiple tracks right here. I could show you better than I could tell you. I think I have something like that right here. Right? If you see here, wait, close this. When I drag this, you see there's several tracks. Studio One opened up MIDI tracks for me, although I didn't, I don't have anything to play. You see on the tracks that it created, I don't have anything there, right? But it's a simple drag and drop situation, right? So let's go back into the MPC because that's what we're working with. Yeah, this situation is not the best situation, right? So this brings me to the next suggestion. The next suggestion would be a strum tool. Say you have this and you wanted it to strum, you would have to go into each individual see how it strummed just now? There should be something such as a tool in which you can strum, right? Studio One has it. Fruity Loops or FL Studio has it. A lot of the popular DAWs have that function. Inside of the MPC software, we have a little less known or a little less talked about function. Generate random events. In here, you can use this when you want to generate random notations. Like I'm gonna add to the existing events. But that's kind of like it's sloppy. It's not the best work, right? So I don't really use that as much. Sometimes when I'm playing around, I'll mess with it, but I open that field to say that in here, generate random events. This would be a perfect place for you to add, you could add event type strum. Like how you got melodic events and drum events, you could put strum here. Like that could be the third option, strumming. And that's simple. You put it in, hit apply, and now you got your strums. All right, so let's move on to the next suggestion. We have an arpeggiator that's here inside of the MPC. Right here, you could click it. It's under Tools, and you open it, and it opens up the ARP. Even inside of the arpeggiator, you can add the strum feature as well, right? You have note repeat, rhythm, pattern. You could add strumming. It'll work in here too. I'm just giving you guys ideas to where you can add the strum, right? But we have the arpeggiator, right? You can set it up however you want to set it up. I'm gonna leave it as is because I just want to drive this point, right? Everyone was asking. This was a big feature request of everyone, probably besides myself, because I wasn't requesting this, but I appreciate it nonetheless. When you have the arpeggiator open, you see how you gotta go to Tools in order to open this. You gotta go up here to Tools to open the arpeggiator. If you're on your MPC itself, time for the goof troop, and you want to get to the arpeggiator, you have to go into menu and you have to go into pad perform mode. In order for you to have the ARP open, you have to hold shift and hold down note repeat. If I go into the main mode here, you see how note repeat turns into the ARP? And over here, I can turn on the ARP here, right? So I could bring up the ARP. You see how the ARP pulled up on the screen, and it pulled up on the screen here. When I'm making music, is I use pad perform mode. I create my own chords, and I create my own pad performance chord progressions, right? You can see one of them is right there, right? All right, so say I wanted to use the ARP. Although I'm on the goof troop thing and I'm using both my hands and I can't really perform how I want to perform, you guys bear with me and get the point. If I wanted to use the ARP, I have to shift and click note repeat to bring the ARP up. If I'm in the MPC itself, standalone or in controller mode, and I want to change the speed, this time correction speed right here, I have to go back out, change it to 1/8. You've seen it change to 1/8 right here. I have to then go back to menu, go back to pad perform to change the speed, right? Or you can press your notepad, your keys on your computer, and you could change it that way, right? So that's one of the benefits of being in controller mode. I did all that explaining to say that right here, see where it say chromatic, notes, chords, chromatic chords, and then what's highlighted is progressions. Right next to progressions, that open spot, you put my finger there, that open spot right there, right? That open spot, you can just add the arpeggiator right there. It'll make it so much easier for everyone rather than having to bounce out of the screen in order to, because if I wanted to change If I wanted to change that, if I'm in controller mode, I can just go to tools and then open up the arpeggiator. Then I can go into art. I could do all that stuff here and change it here. If I want to change that here, I can change it. And you can see it moving right here as well, right? So if I wanted to do that, I could do that. And I'm able to change whatever I want to change there. In controller mode, it's okay because I can just, again, press tools and pull it up. But if I'm in standalone mode and you're on the new MPC 1, if you're on your MPC Live or MPC X, not in controller mode, and you wanted to, per se, control the arpeggiator and change the functions, there's too many steps that you got to take in order to do that. And that kind of kills the mood of what it is. It kills your creativity because you're moving around a lot. You're shifting a lot. So that's just a feature suggestion that I suppose that'll be a great function for everyone that uses the MPC, specifically in standalone mode, because you can't really move around like that once you're in pad performance mode. You're locked into it, and it's a great tool. But if you wanted to add the arpeggiator, you're doing too much. All right, so let's move on to the next ones that I have are basic honorable mentions. These are not really full feature suggestions. Some of you out there are suggesting to the implementation of time stretch. We do have time stretch in here. I've shown it on several videos. It is not the best time stretch mechanism, but we do have time stretch. There's time stretch right here. If you open it up in process sample, it's right there. And as well, if you're in program edit and you're on a track that has a sample on it, we have the warp function as well. Again, it's not the best. It's not like Studio One or FL or Ableton or any of the many DAWs out there, but we do have it. And yes, it can be better. So that, as an honorable mention, time stretch can be better, right? The other thing, CPU usage and CPU spikes, depending on your computer, your processor, the utilization of CPU can be a lot better in the MPC software. So, as another honorable mention, some way, somehow, let's make that better for the new updates to come. Disk streaming is one of the other ones. It'll be honorable mention for me, but that's also one of the top feature suggestions for the MPC software. So for Kai, implement disk streaming somehow for everyone. That'll be great. The landscape, the GUI, right? This could just be a lot cleaner. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back to Studio One. Everything is in my face. The edit window, the piano roll, right, is right here. Everything is here. The mixer channel, everything is in my face. The browser, if I want to open up anything, everything is here, right? If I want to just edit down, whatever I'm editing it down, the waves, everything is right here. The landscape is clean. I love it. You go inside the studio, the MPC software. If you want to go to your browser, you got to hit this over here. It's over here. That's not the big issue. What the issue comes out to being is the piano roll, if you will. It's like, it's goofy, right? And then you got to go to another screen. If you had audio, you got to go to this screen to pull in your audio and edit your audio. It's too much. It's too much moving around. So the GUI could be a lot cleaner looking. Implement some color changes, use some color palettes. You see how I have this kind of color palette? If you have Studio One, your color palette isn't like this. When you open up Studio One, it's more personalized. I can personalize it to my taste, right? I would love to see some sort of personalization with the color scheme of the MPC software, as well as you know, the bars. So on certain DAWs, the beats are grayed out. So beat 1 would be black, beat 1-2 would be gray, beat 1-3 would be black, beat 1-4 would be gray. It just helps to know, you know, to know what you're doing. I see some people use that in FL Studio and they're not even thinking. They just know one on the beats. That's how they place in their snares and hi-hats and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. Any comments, likes, or concerns, post it up in the comment section. Post up what your feature suggestions are if you have any. If you're brand new to the MPC, you may not be familiar with some of the things that I was speaking on today. But get familiar by, you know, going through my channel and see how I work around the MPC software and, you know, learn something. All right. So do remember that music is life. It is our DNA. Keep banging. Peace, love, and light. Till next time. Peace.